So today I woke up really tired for some reason. I've had work the last few days. Standing on my feet all day. I'm just trying to think what's caused this fatigue. But yeah, so you saw a set of 10 there with 140. My previous is 170, 17 reps for 140 kilos. Some reason today I woke up feeling real tired. So I got under the bar, warmed up, and the moment I squatted the empty bar, I knew it wasn't going to be a good day today. Feeling stiff, feeling just unable to get into a position that I'm comfortable with in the bottom. Anyway, I loaded up 140 eventually, and you saw the set there. All the reps felt weird, slow, tight. I wasn't happy with the positioning. Hips were kind of like unhappy to go into that range of motion. So I decided to call it a 10 instead of just pushing through it. This is the thing with super squats. I mean, I'm not doing the super squats to the T, but I'm getting a lot of its philosophies and applying it to myself. But with super squats, no matter what you're feeling, no matter how you're feeling, every other day you're squatting 5 pounds more than previously, and you're doing it for 20 reps. And if you're squatting on day one, your 10 rep max, you're squatting your 10 rep max for 20 reps, which is what super squats routine calls for. You can see that very, very soon you're going to be in a pretty ugly spot. So even though that's that effort should be revered for those people that have done super squats, I'm of the mindset that if you're not feeling that day and you push it, you're asking for trouble. That's just my philosophy. That's how I feel. That's how I've always felt. If something doesn't feel right, you shouldn't be doing it, kind of thing. Follow your gut feeling. And so this morning I woke up, I wasn't feeling good. I still squatted every day, right? I walked in here and warmed up, and I just felt like if I get 20 reps with 140 today, it's gonna be a surprise. Playing the video back, I can see the 140 kind of moved all right, but the feeling that I have within and how it felt to go to the bottom, and that sort of, it's not a pinching sensation, but like uncomfortable kind of a position in the bottom where my hips are not loose enough to squat that depth, but I push myself to get into that depth, and then I feel kind of like the lower back, give in a little bit because I don't have that hip flexion ability. I can't put my knee up, and so to make up that range of motion, my back rounds. And even though for a lot of people that's like, oh yeah, whatever, lower back rounding a little bit is fine. That is not what I'm going for. I'm not going for just Hail Marying, balls to the wall, just get the weight up anywhere you can and want. My thing is, it has to be a good, clean lifting. I've always been like that. For some of you guys that watched this channel for a little bit, you realize that I'm all about technique. I'm all about, keeping the form. I don't like bro lifting. I don't like, YOLO lifting where you just, get motivated by the weight on the bar and that's all you do. My thing is very much longevity, progress, all that. So the other thing that kind of got me thinking straight after I racked the 140 was this idea of incrementing 5 pounds every time you squat, something that I haven't been doing, but I've kind of been going along the similar lines where, I started with 100 kilos, I hit that for 20, then I went to 120, hit that for 20, so 110, then 120, 130. And every time I hit 20 reps of that given weight, I would then increase 10 kilos for the following workout. Now I've had probably 3 or 4 goes of 140, and you can pretty much realize where my working weight is. 140 kilos is a fight for me. So I think from now on, I'm gonna implement sort of like a step loading progression, periodization. If you guys are not familiar with it, it's basically if you just draw on a whiteboard a step like this, and each horizontal line means a given weight. So basically you stick with a given weight for some time, for a given rep range, and you either increase the reps that you're doing, or you just basically stay within that weight with those reps and sets for a given time, and you kind of master that weight for a certain period of time. Even though at one point during that period you might feel you could do heavier, you still kind of say to yourself, no, this is a process, and you just stay with that weight for a given time, and you kind of allow the body to kind of master that weight. So in this case, if I was applying that thing to me, I would basically hit 140, so I hit 140 today for 20, and then the following workout I wouldn't move anything, I would just do the same workout again, and then again, and again, and again. And basically, you could basically make a rule for yourself that if I hit 140 for 20 kilos 5 sessions in a row, and I squat every other day with this type of routine. So it will basically be for me a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. You can give it's an arbitrary period. You can do whatever you want, but you say to yourself, I want to hit 140 kilos for 20 reps, 5 to 6 or 7 times. So I can basically know for myself that I have mastered this weight, and then you can go again. And maybe put 140 kilos and do the next step and give 2 weeks for that. Now, that's only when you accomplish that 20 reps. That's when the time starts for you. So for instance, right now I haven't hit 140 kilos for 20 reps. So my step is going to be long. So eventually I will hit it. The point is then I don't go to the next step. I continue on the same step until I absolutely master that weight, defined by 5 or 6 sessions in a row where I can hit that same success with the weight. So after that, you hit 150 for 5 or 6 sessions in a row of successful sessions, and you go from there. It's one way of basically transitioning from linear periodization, where basically you're a beginner and then you can increase the weight on the bar every single session. We know that novice lifters, people who have started, they don't really know what their max is, and also their adaptation rate is much better than somebody that's an intermediate stage or advanced stage. So beginners can basically put on weight on the bar every single day. So today they're doing 140, say, which beginner does that? But anyway, 140 today, the next session 142.5 kilos, then the next session 145 kilos, and you keep kind of going along. The difference between novice lifters and intermediate lifters is that intermediate lifters have lost that ability to increase workload, whatever it means, weights, reps or sets, session by session. Intermediate kind of phase is defined by maybe week to week or fortnight to fortnight increases. And then you have your advanced lifters who basically can increase their workload once a month or once every 6 months, whatever the case might be. Those guys are basically maxing out their genetic potential, so you're not going to see them increase weight on the bar or workload very frequently. So I first heard this a while back, but then I watched, once again, blah 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 blah. You guys are probably going to tease me about this, but Pavel Tsatsouline was on what's his name, the podcast guy on YouTube. What's his name? The MMA guy. His name escaped me. Joe Rogan, Jesus Christ. So Joe Rogan had Pavel Tsatsouline. They were talking about this step periodization, and Pavel basically explained step periodization as you stay on one step for some time. You can define your parameters everywhere you want. For example, like me, 5-6 sessions in a row of success. Or you just say to yourself, I'm going to stay at 140 kilos for 2 months. I'm going to do it every other day, and that's it. You basically master that weight. You allow your biology to catch up with that weight. And yeah, basically there are some things in the human body that we don't understand. Pavel touched on it, hormonal profiling, hormonal development. There are some things which don't allow our body to adapt at a quick rate. So initially we can adapt, but then eventually it slows down. And the slowing down usually takes place in the intermediate stage. So that's basically it. So step periodization is what I'm excited about right now. So I won't be increasing my weight after I hit 140 for 20, simply because, like I explained, 150 is going to be a struggle again. And I know Super Squats calls for very frequent increases in weight, and it's basically hell and back type of routine. The reason why that doesn't rub me up the right way is because of the risk of injury. Say I have a bad day like I've had today. I've woken up, I've had work, and I haven't had food in my belly, and I had night shifts and whatever the case might be, and I'm supposed to come in here and bust out a 20 rep max. It takes a lot of controlling of many different variables in your training for you to be successful in that type of routine. For somebody like me that has a very interchangeable lifestyle where I've got work, I've got family, I've got irregular sleep. My days of the week are very irregular, if you can say. I can't plan how I'm going to feel. So that's basically where my mind is right now. I have a lot of reverence for Super Squats. I think it's an absolute beast of a workout, of a routine. I just think it doesn't basically align with some of my philosophies about injury prevention, about technique. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm not feeling good today, how am I supposed to, smash out all these reps? For some reason, I'm feeling tight. And yes, I could have come in here and stretched out for a whole bunch of time, but every time I stretch before I train, I just feel weaker. For whatever reason, my hips feel weaker. I'm just weaker in every single position that I take. So I don't like stretching before workouts. So if I wake up in the morning and I've done my warm-up routine, I still can't get into position, usually I would auto-regulate that. I would say, okay, today we're going to have an easy day because I'm not feeling it. And that's the whole point about Bulgarian. I say Bulgarian, but I don't really mean Bulgarian. I mean squat every day. If you're squatting every day or any lift every day, you kind of have to auto-regulate. You're not going to have every single day a really good day. So basically, I'm letting you guys know that that's where I'm at. So eventually, I will hit 140 for 20, maybe on a good day, right? But really what I'm after is hitting that same 140 for 20 even on a bad day. And that will kind of tell me that I've kind of mastered that weight. And so then I've gained my ticket to the next step. And then I go to the next step and I do the same thing. Obviously, as you progress through weight, some of these steps might be getting longer and longer. I might spend 150 kilos for a month, who knows? But I think it's a good approach. It basically goes along the lines of don't force adaptation. Let biology catch up to you. So you've introduced the stimulus, you've been there for a little while, you've allowed the body to adapt to the weight, and you let it sink in a little bit. Then you adapt, and then you increase the load. If you increase the load continuously every single time, like in a linear progression type thing, eventually you're going to run out of steam. And if you continue hitting your head against that brick wall, you can work out what's going to happen. An injury is going to happen, form breakdown is going to happen, your chances of injury are going to go up, and so it can't go well for you. If you're a novice lifter, sure, you can probably make super squats for 6 weeks in a row. Somebody like me, I don't know. Maybe I can as well if I completely forgive about everything that I care about in terms of technique. And also the other thing is about the diet as well. I haven't been drinking 3 liters of milk a day. Half a gallon, what's that? 1.5 liters. I haven't been drinking 1.5 liters milk a day. I just don't have that in me. I'm not that kind of character to just pile in that much calories. I don't want to feel like that. Like you can't feel good if you're drinking that much milk and eating all those calories. That's me. So maybe if I was eating like that, then I'll be able to put on weight on the bar quite easily. But that's another thing that kind of makes me struggle with this type of routine. It's just it's all out and there's no prisoners basically. So let me know what you guys think about step periodization. There are many different types of periodization. Training your planning your program. But I think step periodization suits me right now the best. I still want to continue doing the high repetitions. I really like how it makes me feel. I love how much muscle I built in my legs. I love the breathing nature of the squats. I love that. It's really, really cool. But I do not want to work that hard basically every single day. Basically it comes down to that. I don't want to be going balls to the wall every single day because it's not sustainable, especially if you're doing squat every day. So initially when I implemented some of these super squat ideas, I went, okay, I'm not going to do super squats exactly to the T because it's impossible to also train in between those 3 days. You should basically be squatting Monday, Wednesday, Friday if you're doing super squats. I'm going every day. So in order for that to sustain itself, I need to decrease the days that I'm doing the super squats. So I've gone, okay, I'll push, but I'm not going to push, balls to the wall. I'm going to go maybe 80% and then I'll call it quits. I'm not going to get the last 2 or 3 reps. I'm not going to grind that shit out because that's, you could argue, the best quality there, but it's also the worst quality in terms of technique. So I've gone, okay, for the sake of recovery and for the sake of the following day, putting in that frequency, I'm not going to do that. So I've done that, and now I've gone to a stage where it's like, I'm afraid of going up in weight again when I'm not really conquering this weight. I'm basically waiting for a day where I've had good sleep and good food. Then I go in and I hit that weight. And then for the following workout, I might be feeling shitty off a night shift and I'm supposed to hit even more weight, feeling worse. So just asking for trouble. Anyway, I'm gonna still continue doing high reps. Really excited about that. I feel like I'm really strong since I've done that. Joints are feeling really good. I think the reason why I'm feeling tight is because I worked all day yesterday, on my feet all day yesterday. Maybe poor sleep, I'm not sure. Maybe not enough calories, maybe I'm dehydrated. All those things go into the same mix. So I need to auto-regulate. Basically, the moral of the story is I need to auto-regulate to some extent to basically fit training into my life. Because my life, as a shift worker, somebody working in the place that I work, you can't have a really rigid program. It's not gonna work. My life is not my training, so this is kind of on a side kind of kick. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about step periodization. Let me know what you think about super squats. Do you guys think it's a good training method? Do you guys think it's possible without consuming all those calories and all that milk? Anyway, guys, I'll catch you guys tomorrow, and hopefully tomorrow I feel a little bit looser and more ready to train. Catch you.